Hi there, and welcome to The Celeb Tea, the rise and fall of Wendy Osefo, a story of image, ambition, and consequence. Wendy Osefo once represented everything that defined success and refinement. Intelligent, articulate, and impeccably polished, she stood as a figure who had seemingly earned her position through merit, intellect, and determination. Her on-screen presence exuded confidence, not the loud, combative kind that reality television often celebrates, but one grounded in education and poise. Viewers admired her ability to articulate complex ideas with clarity. Whether they liked her or not, many respected her. Her image as the intellectual reality star was carefully built through years of academic achievement, public speaking, and professional credibility. Unlike others who relied on controversy for attention, Wendy's authority came from her credentials, not advanced degrees, professorial roles, and political commentary that made her seem grounded in truth and intellect. Yet, as is often the case in modern celebrity culture, the higher the pedestal, the steeper the fall. When news broke of her alleged involvement in a high-profile insurance fraud case, the public's perception of her changed almost overnight. The headlines were jarring: arrests, fraud charges, and allegations that she and her husband staged a burglary in their Maryland home to collect insurance money. For someone whose reputation was built on credibility and class, the accusations were catastrophic. The scandal didn't just tarnish her image, it shattered it. The irony of Wendy's situation lies in her background. As the daughter of hard-working immigrant parents, her life story once embodied the American dream. She was the student who excelled, the woman who transformed education into empowerment. Her academic achievements and commentary roles made her a familiar face in both intellectual and entertainment circles. On The Real Housewives of Potomac, she often positioned herself as the voice of logic amid chaos, the calm observer who corrected misinformation and elevated the conversation with facts and thoughtful insights. For a while, that approach worked. Viewers appreciated her composure, and her image as the smart one of the group differentiated her from her co-stars. Her career flourished, opening doors to media panels, speaking engagements, and collaborations. Wendy became a brand, a symbol of intellect, elegance, and authority. But that brand, like so many others in the reality TV world, proved fragile when tested by scandal. Fame brings visibility, but it also invites scrutiny. The more prominent a public figure becomes, the more people feel entitled to dissect every detail of their life. Wendy's reputation was built on integrity. Therefore, any hint of deception struck at the very core of her persona. When reports surfaced that she and her husband had allegedly exaggerated or even fabricated a burglary to obtain insurance money, the reaction was swift and brutal. The alleged crime was cinematic in its setup. A wealthy couple returns from a Jamaican vacation to find their bedroom ransacked and their expensive handbags and jewelry stolen. On paper, it was a story designed to evoke sympathy, but investigators quickly grew suspicious. The security footage reportedly showed no sign of forced entry. Some of the items listed as stolen had, according to police, already been refunded to stores. Even more damning, certain stolen goods appeared later on Wendy's social media accounts, photographed after the alleged theft date. When detectives pieced together receipts, timestamps, and surveillance logs, inconsistencies began to surface. The evidence didn't align with the couple's version of events. In one alleged instance, emails reportedly discussed adjusting claim amounts to meet the maximum policy value, a small but potentially telling detail. Whether these communications reflected intentional deceit or simple confusion, investigators found enough irregularities to move forward with charges. Police records stated that approximately 80 luxury items, clothing, jewelry, and designer accessories worth more than $200,000 were reported stolen. Yet searches of the couple's home revealed at least 15 of those same items, including a gold diamond anniversary ring later seen on Wendy's social media. What had once been a symbol of status and success now became evidence in a potential fraud case. When public figures face criminal scrutiny, every inconsistency becomes magnified. Investigators methodically cross-checked surveillance data, transaction records, and online activity. In today's digital age, where nearly every action leaves a timestamp, it's difficult to conceal the truth. Reports suggested that refund records predated the alleged burglary, while social media photos contradicted the timeline of events. These discrepancies, while small individually, collectively painted a troubling picture. Once prosecutors formally filed charges, the consequences extended beyond the courtroom. Wendy's professional world began to unravel. Academic institutions distanced themselves, networks reviewed contracts, and sponsors quietly withdrew support. In the entertainment industry, image is currency, and when that image becomes tainted, opportunities dry up fast. Even for those later cleared of wrongdoing, the shadow of accusation lingers. Rebuilding a damaged public reputation is an uphill climb. Beyond the financial strain of legal defense, the emotional toll can be immense. Every court hearing becomes another headline, every statement another potential controversy. For someone whose brand was built on intellect and composure, standing accused of deception felt like the ultimate contradiction. But why would someone risk a career, credibility, and public admiration for something so seemingly reckless? The answer, as in many such stories, often lies in the pressures of maintaining an image. Fame and ambition create their own ecosystem, one that rewards appearance as much as substance. Maintaining luxury, public admiration, and professional relevance can lead even rational people into questionable decisions. Ambition is not inherently destructive. In moderation, it fuels success. But when combined with public expectation and ego, it can blur ethical boundaries. For some, the desire to preserve a perfect facade outweighs the need for honesty. A small exaggeration can evolve into deception. A desperate attempt to maintain control can become self-sabotage. Wendy's case, still unfolding, highlights this tension between aspiration and accountability. It's a reminder that when a person's identity becomes too tightly tied to image, reality can bend to maintain that illusion. Public reaction to Wendy Osefo's downfall revealed much about how society treats its fallen idols. Some fans stood by her, insisting on her innocence until proven guilty. Others, once vocal admirers, turned into harsh critics almost overnight. The media amplified both extremes, transforming her personal crisis into a national spectacle. Every court update, social post, or rumor became fuel for debate, not about facts, but about morality, class, and authenticity. On social media, narratives split into camps. Supporters argued that Wendy's background as an educated, ambitious woman made her an easy target for envy and overexposure. Critics countered that she had built her fame on moral superiority and therefore deserved scrutiny when her actions appeared inconsistent with her message. Both sides missed a deeper truth. The incident wasn't just about guilt or innocence. It was about how fragile public trust becomes when image overshadows integrity. The scandal also forced a broader cultural reckoning. In the world of reality television, image is often more valuable than authenticity. Producers and audiences reward drama, perfection, and the illusion of control. But when that illusion cracks, the same public that once celebrated success can quickly turn judgmental. Wendy's fall from grace wasn't only a personal crisis. It was a mirror reflecting the toxic cycle of fame itself. Behind the headlines, real people suffered. Legal fees mounted, emotional strain deepened, and relationships were tested. For Wendy's family, the ordeal brought humiliation and fear, compounded by relentless public scrutiny. Fame had once elevated them, now it exposed their most private struggles to the world. Yet, even in disgrace, lessons can emerge. The story of Wendy Osefo isn't only about alleged fraud, it's about accountability and the possibility of rebuilding. If she confronts her mistakes openly and replaces perfectionism with honesty, she can still write a second act rooted in growth. Redemption, after all, doesn't come from denial or spin. It comes from accepting responsibility and showing genuine change over time. Ultimately, Wendy's rise and fall offer a timeless reminder. Education, fame, and influence may command attention, but they do not guarantee integrity. The true test of character isn't in how one builds a reputation, it's in how one rebuilds after it breaks.